Baker talks as a Carolina Panther. It was interesting. I thought it was interesting that he did the interview via Zoom from presumably his home.
Yeah.
I would have thought that they would have flown him into Carolina.
That's first-round pick stuff.
Well, he was an overall first-round pick.
I guess you got a point there.
I was surprised. I just thought they would have made a bigger deal.
Carolina
that was my question.
Yeah,
as soon as I saw that, I'm like, wait a minute.
Why would
he is at his house.
It's the offseason.
Listen, here's why
the quarterback,
here's
Tyvus.
why they needed to have him.
Yeah.
Like Baker or not, and I'm not talking about just football. I mean the whole package, personality-wise or whatever. There is a level to Baker Mayfield of charisma. You would agree?
I would agree.
No one's ever going to say the guy is boring.
No, certainly not.
He is on a PR campaign to save his career. And if during the discussions the Panthers said reporters are dying, we're getting overwhelmed. And I heard from 2 reporters in Carolina that reached out to me and said, hey, can you give me Baker's number? I'd love to get an interview. I'm like, are you guys drunk? Are you clueless right now? That's not how this works.
Let me get that number.
Let me get Baker's. I had people ask me for Emily's number because they know I worked with Emily.
Oh my.
And I'm like, guys, go through the team. This is insane.
Yeah.
But literally, the one thing that I thought of was how they were going to roll out Baker Mayfield. This is their shiny new toy, guys. And what do you do with the shiny new toy? Your first-round draft pick? You fly in the next morning and he meets the media.
By the way,
he's in a campaign to save his career. I would have thought that Baker would have said, I'm not going to do it from my house. I want face-to-face interaction. I want to win these people over at jump.
Yeah.
And he did a Zoom call.
Doesn't he also want to be in Carolina, start learning the playbook and doing all that
He
stuff?
got it in the mail yesterday.
I'm about to say.
But wouldn't you want to be around the coaches? Wouldn't you say, forget the offseason, I need to learn this team?
Tyvus, what is during this dead period, what is it like at a team training facility? What is Berea like right now?
I mean, you got people that's coming in and out. Obviously, you could come in and train with strength coaches at certain point in times of the day. I think that's what I was doing. But this was back when OTAs was going. They have designated strength coaches come in. You can get a workout.
So you could be there working out if you wanted
but
to.
a lot of people don't do that. They go down to – because you got to remember, this is the last time you'll have vacation time.
This is the dead
So you need to really spend some time with your family because once the season starts, once you check in –
I always would have thought the coaches would have taken this time,
He's been on vacation this whole offseason.
Don't do that. No, he has.
He hasn't been at camp?
He has. That's a fact.
He has been.
That's a fact.
Okay.
But this
You
is
think
the
he'd
thing.
want to be there?
He's probably going to check in maybe a week or 2 before everybody else reports just to get that start with
I think that's too late.
I don't know.
You think?
Here's why. Darnold's got a year head start on him.
That's true.
He knows the offense.
That's true.
So
but
Baker's going to win the job in 4 weeks?
They could.
I mean, I would want to jump in there as soon
potentially.
as possible.
I'm going to tell you what, man. They could. But first of all, before we say that, Jay, you better not ever lose your phone.
Oh, my God,
I know.
yeah.
Bro,
No, listen, I know.
Don't do it. Back that boy up.
God.
A lot of the numbers are in with code.
Yeah, okay, good. You put that code in
Because
there.
I know people that have lost their phones.
Man.
It's
terrible.
not. It's a bad scene.
So I will say this. I think what they did, I think it was strategic on the part, not on Baker, it was strategic to the Panthers. You see, Baker, you got to think about it. He's the number 1 overall pick. But Sam Darnold was the number 3 pick in that same draft. So you got to take in consideration also that they brought Corral in, who is a 3rd-round draft pick. Now, granted, you don't really have to explain yourself to 3rd-round draft picks all that often. But they did reach out to him. Reports where they reached out to him prior to going to get Baker, saying, hey, we're going to go after this guy. Just a courtesy, let you know we're still high on you. We still think you're going to have a great future. So I think what the Carolina Panthers did is they wanted to do 2 things. Let Baker know we're not going to bring you up in here and we're not going to sit you on no pedestal. You're going to have to work. Yeah. We got people already in the building. You would do that from home. And when you come here, be ready to go because you're going to have to win that spot. I think that was the way they was presenting it in terms of we don't want the pomp and circumstance. We need
That's possible.
We need to focus Baker.
Interesting point.
That's possible.
That's the best way to do it. You want to make it an open competition. The best way Baker has succeeded in his career is when he's going through competition and he's got that chip on his shoulder. You need to make sure that you can get that version of him. You don't want to spoon feed him the job.
Yeah, he's going to be handed nothing for sure. And we're gonna talk about some clips. Mike, let's bring in McNuggets. There were 5 things that jumped out to you as you were watching yesterday. I want you to, as our leader, I want you to tell us about the things that jumped out to you and have us respond to them.
Do you want me to read the quotes or just want to talk about
You can paraphrase them, you can read them, whatever you want to do.
All right, well, let's start with this one because you guys already touched on one of them real quick. Baker played hurt last year. We all know that.
Yeah.
And he was asked about it. And, Steve, let's take 18 real quick. Let's punch it up. I'll read you the exact quote, but he was asked about playing with the shoulder injury. Baker said, quote, "When it comes to the shoulder, I'm not one for excuses because I was too stubborn to come out anyway."
Yeah.
In your guys' mind, does that negate any of the criticism against Baker for people saying he should have just sat out and not hurt the team? It seems like this was Baker's choice as much as anyone else to actually go back in and keep playing.
No, I think it was Baker's choice.
I'm about to say he 100% said it was his
As
choice.
critical as I've been on Baker, I was not critical. I didn't blame him for wanting to play. Guys want to play. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
That was honorable.
my only concern or issue with it is that you knew you wanted to play because you do want to go out there and be with your guys. You know, you feel like I'm the best option at the quarterback and we have a better chance of winning if I'm out there. But if you can't produce the way that you were producing and you're hurting the team, as a man, you have to look at your teammates and say, I'm doing y'all a disservice. I love y'all enough to know that I can't help y'all right now, so I'm going to put somebody else in. But like I say, everybody says that it's maturity things and stuff like that, and that's obviously what the problem
I look at it, we've all had, in college, you've had group projects, right? Mm-hmm. You put you in a group project and you with 4 other people, right? If you have surgery or get sick or in the hospital and you miss a week of school, the professor says, hey, if you're prepared, you can do your part of the presentation with your group, or we can have you do something else where you present on your own, right? You got an opportunity to say yay or nay. Now, if you're a smart person, you would say, their grade depends on my grade, right? My part is going to be part of the final grade. So if I'm not prepared and I know I haven't been here for a week, I shouldn't just suck it up and go out there and just say, you know what, let me go ahead and do my part, and it's terrible, it's trash, and everybody else suffers from it. I'll just take the responsibility and say, all right, well, that's on me. I'll present on my own. I'll get an extra week. Does it suck having to present on your own? Sure, because you're by yourself. But at the end of the day, you don't want your health or your lack of preparation to rub off on the rest of your people.
Right. I agree with that. Here's what I wanted him to say about the injury. I don't want to talk about the injury. I was on the field. I was playing. That meant I was healthy enough to be out there.
I mean, that's all.
I don't want to talk
That's what
about
it means.
When you say, I don't want to use it as an excuse, that's the same thing as saying, it's not about the money. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
it is. So when
Right.
you use the word excuse in your
100%.
answer, you are making an excuse.
Yes.
I wish he would have said, it was my decision to be out there. I made the decision to play. It is all on me. I wear that like a bad suit now.
Yes.
That's what
Honestly, when it's all said and done and he writes his autobiography, not sure he will, I would hope that he would fall on that sword and say, the Cleveland experiment went bad because of my stubbornness. Because I
100%.
honestly, at the end of the day,
he alluded to it.
that's what he did.
He's alluding to
but
it.
That's what did it.
But it's
That's it.
I just wish he would just say that because all the people taking his back and stuff like that. Well, the coaches should have did anything. Well, I'm glad that he was able to finally come out and put that to bed. That no coach was going to tell him whether or not he can play. So that ends that conversation.
Puts that speculation to bed. Yeah. What else jumped out at you, Mikey?
This was on him wanting a fresh start outside of Cleveland. Steve, let's take it. Quote, "A lot of ups and downs, a lot of things I learned, but when it came down to it, it was wanting a fresh start, wanting to be with a coach and a GM that truly wanted me and just wanted the same thing, and that's to win football games." G. Bush alluded to the rift between him and Kevin Stefanski. Jason Lloyd's alluded to it. We all know something's there, but for him to come out and actually speak on it and kind of raise, eyes raised.
Beyond behind-the-scenes stuff, once you traded for Deshaun Watson, it was pretty obvious they didn't believe in you or want you. So I don't blame him for saying that.
They believed in someone more than they believed in him.
Certainly.
It's
right.
Because Kevin Stefanski was very clear. I was ready to go forward with Baker Mayfield as my quarterback. I was completely prepared and ready to do that.
A lot of people have said that. I know Aditi's brought that up, and he has said that publicly. I still believe down deep he wanted someone better.
He was presented with a better option.
I agree with that, boy.
You were dating an 8, and a 10 walked up and gave you her number.
Of course he was ready to move on with Baker because it seemed like you couldn't get better. There was nobody obviously better that they could get. Then the Watson opportunity happened. He's like, maybe I don't need to keep working with Baker.
The only thing out of that, sorry.
No, go ahead.
The only thing out of that quote that bothered me a little bit was, I want to be with a coach and a team that want to win games. Like, what do you think? We don't want to win games?
Yeah. Sometimes he talks in such jocular.
What are you talking about, bro?
It gets very, very cliche.
Yeah.
Man.
I wish what he would. he would never do this. Guys, he hates the Browns front office.
Hates
Let's
it.
call it what it
Yeah,
is.
right.
Like them.
I really wish what he would have said, because I love honesty and transparency. I wish he would have came out and said, I loved playing for the Cleveland Browns. We had exciting times there. I hate the way they did me at the end. And now I'm out to show them that they made a huge
Now we
mistake.
kick their
I
ass. and we
said-
won.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would
exactly-
respect that more
I have no
than,
problem with that.
I had some good times, I had some bad times, blah, blah, blah.
That's
Then
it.
it comes
What
in-
you just said is exactly what I said about San Francisco, my time in San Francisco. I love the team. The players is great, but the way that they did me in the end, it was just, that's the rift and the problem that I had with them. It wasn't the players at all. I loved them. It was the
And I think that's the
upstairs.
same with Baker.
Yeah.
I don't think he has any issue with the players.
Not at all.
I don't think he has any
Well,
issue
I don't
with
know.
the
I think
fans
I think
even.
the players got an issue with him for quitting on that last Bengal game for sure.
I think this is in life. You can't take yourself seriously that much, right? Before we started this show, it was known or let known that there was a specific player that they wanted to be in this chair where I'm at, right? And when I heard who the name was, I said, "Oh, I would have picked him too. Give me that guy. G-Bush, you do a couple more blogs." But when he couldn't do it, I'm sorry for you, bro. I appreciate your spot. I'm gonna take it. I ain't sitting there crying over nothing. It's about getting to it, bro. If you got an opportunity, man, and that's what he should understand. He should learn. Think about it like this. Kevin Stefanski, and I think they were true on this. I think they was really honest with this. If they wouldn't have gotten Deshaun Watson, I think they was fully prepared to go back in the season.
I believe that too.
Yeah,
I don't think that was lip service from Kevin Stefanski.
And if he would have just said, okay, let me just go ahead and do it, and not say anything about it, like, I want traded, not only would he had a better opportunity to be successful here with more money, there would have been other teams that would have been willing to give him more money to go elsewhere based on the way he treated it and looked at it. Because they would have said, wow, look at Matt Ryan.
Because of his personality.
Yeah, yes.
So teams were less interested
Yeah.
because of the baggage Baker brings to the party.
Definitely.
So, you just take the opportunity. It's about what you do with the opportunity.
It's hard for any man to say that another man is better than them, and that's what as a football player and as a competitor, you always view yourself as the best, and it's hard to look at somebody else, take your spot, and be like, he's better.
There's
than me.
I think a
objective
real
truths.
man's got to be realistic.
I
About
mean, no,
Who's faster, you or me? Tyvus. Who has more
Is that
facial?
hard for you to admit, G-Bush?
Yeah, no, it's not. Who has the better beard, you or Tyvus?
but them is obvious. That's obvious answer.
Sometimes
it's obvious I got a much better beard than both of you. I'm just not
Hey,
growing.
Right.
I'll tell you this. On the debate of who has better eyeglasses, that's obvious.
Yeah, see, my
It's all you, bro.
because nobody else has any eyeglasses. And McNuggets was good.